All right, Subliminal. Let me see. The importance of being social. Judging people by their covers, Chapter 6. There's a road from the eye to the heart that does not go through the intellect. G.K. Chesterton. G.K. Chesterton said, "There's a road from the eye to the heart that does not go through the intellect." If you are a man, being compared to a cowbird probably doesn't sound like a compliment, and it probably isn't. The male cowbird, you see, is a real slacker. He doesn't stake out a territory, take care of the baby cowbirds, or bring home a paycheck, which scientists call resources. In cowbird society, as one research paper asserted, females gain few direct benefits from males. Apparently, all a male cowbird is good for, or after, is one thing. But the one thing a male cowbird does have to offer is very desirable. So female cowbirds seek out male cowbirds, at least in mating season. To an amorous female cowbird, the equivalent of a chiseled face or great pecs is the male cowbird's song. Since it is hard to smile when you have a beak, when she hears a song she finds attractive, a female will often signal interest with her own seductive vocalization, called chatter. And, like an eager teenage girl of our own species, if a female cowbird is led to believe that other females find a certain male attractive, she will find that male attractive too. In fact, suppose that prior to mating season, a girl cowbird repeatedly hears recordings of a boy's voice followed by the admiring chatter of other nubile females. Will that girl cowbird exercise the independent judgment our sober parents all urge? No. When mating season comes, upon hearing that male's song, she will automatically respond with displays inviting him to mate with her. Why do I say her response is automatic, and not part of some thoughtful strategy aimed at wooing the fellow with whom she'd like to share birdseed in her golden years? Because upon hearing the male's song, the female will commence her common behavior even if that the song is coming not from a live bird but from a stereo speaker. We humans may share many behaviors with lower animals, but flirting with a stereo speaker is surely not one of them. Or is it? We've seen that people unintentionally express their thoughts and feelings even when they might prefer to keep them secret. But do we also react automatically to nonverbal social cues? Do we respond like the smitten cowbird, even in situations in which our logical and conscious minds would deem the reaction inappropriate or undesirable? A few years ago, a Stanford communications professor named Clifford Nass sat a couple hundred computer-savvy students in front of computers that spoke to them in pre-recorded voices. The purpose of the exercise, the students were told, was to prepare for a test with the assistance of a computerized tutoring station. The topics taught ranged from mass media to love and relationships. After completing the tutoring and the test, the students received an evaluation of their performance, delivered either by the same computer that taught them or by another computer. Finally, the students themselves completed the equivalent of a course evaluation form, in which they rated both the course and the computer tutor. Nass was not really interested in conducting a computer course on mass media or love and relationships. These earnest students were Nass cowbirds, and in a series of experiments, he and some colleagues studied them carefully, gathering data on the way they responded to the lifeless electronic computer, gauging whether they would react to a machine's voice as if the machine had human feelings, motivations, or even a human gender. It would be absurd, of course, to expect the students to say, "Excuse me," if they bumped into the monitor. That would be a conscious reaction. And in their conscious ruminations, these students suddenly realized that the machine was not a person, but Nas was interested in another level of their behavior. Behavior the students did not purposely engage in. Social behavior he describes as automatic and unconscious. In one of the experiments, the researchers arranged for half their subjects to be tutored and evaluated by computers with male voices and half by computers with female voices. Other than that, there was no difference in the sessions. The male computers presented the same information in the same sequence as the females, and the male and female computers delivered identical assessments of the students' performance. As we'll see in Chapter 7, if the tutors had been real people, the students' evaluations of their teachers would probably reflect certain gender stereotypes. For example, consider the stereotype that women know more about relationship issues than men. Ask a woman what bonds couples together, and you might expect her to respond, "Open communication and shared intimacy." Ask a guy, you might expect him to say, "Huh?" Studies show that as a result of this stereotype, even when a woman and a man have equal ability in that area, the woman is often perceived as more competent. Nas sought to discover whether the students would apply those same gender stereotypes to the computers. They did. Those who had female voice tutors for the love and relationships material rated their teachers as having more sophisticated knowledge of the subject than did those who had male voiced tutors, even though the two computers had given identical lessons. But the male and female computers got equal ratings when the topic was a gender-neutral one, like mass media. Another unfortunate gender stereotype suggests that forcefulness is desirable in men, but unseemly in women. And sure enough, students who heard a forceful male-voiced computer tutor rated it as being significantly more likable than those who heard a forceful female-voiced tutor, even though, again, both the male and the female voices had uttered the same words. Apparently, even when coming from a computer, an assertive personality in a female is more likely to come off as overbearing or bossy than the same personality in a male. Already, my brain wasn't processing everything efficiently, and I'm going to do stretch and have breakfast. Thanks for reading with me.